This walnut log has 3 branches, and most of what I'm about to turn is air. This is my first ever natural edge bowl. I'm in new territory. Not sure how I'm going to mount it. I think I'll use my worm screw to start, but after that, who knows? Once it's spinning, it's completely out of balance. The bar could go, the bowl could go, I could go. If you've turned natural edge bowls, I have questions. I have one shot to get this right. Let's do it. And at the end, my wife does something that takes this to another level. I'm going to try and make the bottom as flat as I can. I see those branches there. I got some air. I'm not making contact as the bowl goes all the way around. I kind of lose it, so I got to hold it still. If I push in too far, I'm afraid I'm going to get a catch, and that is not going to be good. So it's a new experience for me. I've never done this before. We'll see what happens. You can hear when I go from the outside to the inside. Outside, very little contact. I'm with the branches. I'm turning some air. But as I get more to the middle, the tone changes as I have contact as the log spins all the way around. You're going to hear the clink here as something falls off the lathe. Here it comes. There it is. Every flat surface at a wood shop gets something on it, and I think it was a tool rest on there, and it fell to the floor. The camera's going to pick something up here that I didn't see when I was turning. Here it comes, boom, a catch, stopped it from rotating. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know what's going to happen. This is really not held on very tightly, and it's a precarious situation. Let's see if it makes it all the way. My goal here is to make the bottom flat, and then to take the edges and work them up so that they come to a point. Because I want to be a bowl shape, but it's just not a classic bowl because it's not continuous all the way around. So as I work this edge, I'm working those branches up. I mean, I'm not sure if this is how you're supposed to do it. If there's a better way to do it, say so in the comments. Give me some advice. I'm making it up as I go here. You can see I'm making some progress here. I'm getting those tips up, so I'm creating the bowl shape out of it. It's not going to hold a lot of water, but I'm bringing that up. You can see the big fat side there needs some more work. So as I bring this through, I'm kind of bring those edges up until they come to something of a point, and I have a bowl, but just missing some of the parts. I'm bringing that side all the way up here, and I get almost to the top. So this is as far as I've gotten so far. And I've got that cove, that bowl shape here. And now I'm going to just do a little more shaping, do a little scraping, but I'm really I think I've got my shape here dialed in. So if you have experience turning natural edge bowls like this is my first attempt ever. Please comment, tell me what I'm doing right, tell me what I'm doing wrong. And we're going to get to the point here where I'm pretty good on the side, and we're going to drill the bottom out for the token. This gives 2 things. First of all, I can add the token in later, but I can also take the tailstock and push against that and not worry about hurting the foot. So drilling out for that token, I think the foot is pretty good. I'm going to flip this thing around and put it into the chuck. The grain on the side with all those branches coming through at different angles and the crotch pieces. This is it's a very wild grain, and I've got some tear out. I'm going to try and go over it with the carbide scraper. It doesn't really do the job as well as I'd want, so I'm going to add some shellac, and then we're going to go off and we're going to sand those a lot to get a nice smooth surface. With the shellac all dry, I think it's the next day here anyway. I'm going to sand this up to, I think, 600, and then I'm going to wet sand it and get it nice and smooth. It's hard to power sand when there's a lot of air there. It really tears the paper up, and the sander just doesn't like it. So I'm going to have to slow it down by hand. I'm just going to go over things real slow, trying to get every surface with every grit of sandpaper. With the sanding complete, I'm going to add the Waterlux tongue oil sealant. It really drinks it in. It really liked this, so I'm going to add it on quite thick. Then I'll buff off anything was left, but there was really nothing left. It just absorbed the entire thing. Now I'm going to take it off the lathe, unscrew it from the worm chuck, and we're going to turn it back around again and grab that base with the stronghold, and then we're going to hollow it out. Right now this is pretty easy. I'm not turning a lot of air. I'm just pulling the center out of this bowl so I have contact all the way around. My favorite bowl gouge is going to make short work of this. As I get closer to that rim, you can see I'm starting to turn more and more air. The sound is different. As I get to the middle, it's a much more constant sound, but on the outside, it's much more chattery. And I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. If I'm not, please tell me in the comments. I'm just checking the bottom to check the depth. I kind of like where it is. I'm pretty close. But wood is wood, and you never know what it's going to do. And I'm about to uncover that there is a void in the bottom, and we're going to have a bit of an issue. So I'm going to try and break the nub off the middle before I take the bottom to its final thickness. And I'm going to just break it with my hand. So there we go. Now I've lost tailstock support. I can't have that tailstock up there. I'm going to take the rest of that nub out of there. I have to be really careful with the odd shape of this bowl. If I'm too aggressive, I'll catch that side and it will go flying. So I'm going to be very careful here, trying not to make any drama, but you know, sometimes drama just happens all by itself. I'm going to work the walls, get them to the right thickness before I take that final piece off the bottom. I want to be careful. I can't knock the bark off. I'm hoping that I can keep it on. There's one piece where the bark wasn't there, but when I bought the log, the bark was gone. Speaking of where I got this log from the Northeastern Woodwork Association, they had a wood auction and used tool fair, October 2025. I bought a box of walnut, among other things, and this is the first piece. There's 4 more pieces that I can use from there, and you'll be seeing them soon. That's where this log came from. So like and subscribe so you can see what I do with the rest of these walnut logs. We're getting down to the final thickness. I think we're getting close. I'm going to add some shellac to seal some end grain. The grain in here is insane, so there's some tear out because it's just going in every single direction. Then I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to sand it again, and then we're going to hit it with some more tung oil. With the sanding complete, I'm going to add some Waterlux tung oil sealant. I'm supposed to put it on and then wipe it off, but as soon as I added it, it drank it in. So I gave it as much as it could take until finally it wouldn't take any more, wiped that off. Then I'm going to move on to filling some voids with some black CA glue, which I didn't record. So here we go, adding in the tung oil, then we'll hit the black CA glue. Okay, it's the next day. I filled in some voids, as you can see right here, with some black CA glue. Now this white here is from the accelerator. That'll come off when I sand it. I had a thing here, and this, if you kind of listen to this, it's not as bad now because I put some CA glue in there. There's a void in here. Now at first I thought that the bottom was a little bit thick when I got it off the lathe. Now I'm thinking that if I go any deeper, I'm going to start bringing these pithy areas out. And you can hear it, the camera's not picking it up. Let's see if we can get this, if we can. Over here, pretty solid. There's an echo right there. And when I was putting CA glue in there, I was able to get it's a little squirter thing in the end. I was able to get that in there. And if I start taking this, because I was thinking I want to take another 1/8 of an inch off the bottom. If I do that, I'm going to expose this void, and I'm going to have even a bigger black blob there. I think once I sand this will go away. There's a little one there, but they're kind of pithy, and I'm a little concerned that I'm going to go through the bottom. And I'm also a little concerned this piece is going to move on me. So I'm going to leave this at this thickness, although it's probably an eighth thicker than I want, and I'm going to re-sand into here to take this black off. I'm going to sand away that CA glue. I'm going to go from probably, I think it was 180 to 600. Then I'm going to wet sand the entire thing. I'm going to use the Scotch pads. I'm going to start with the gray and then do white. We're in pretty good shape. We don't have to go that far. There's no epoxy here, so I'm kind of over sanding here a little bit, but that's okay. I like a really smooth surface. Moving on to the wet sanding, I use mineral spirits instead of water. I don't like water near my lathe. I'm going to start with the gray pad and then do the white. There's no epoxy here. I don't need to over sand it, but we're good. I need to flip it around. I have some tool marks on the foot, some jaw marks, not tool marks, probably tool marks. So I'm going to flip it around. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I've never done this before. Fabric in here, not to mar it. So I'm going to push this up here. I'm going to bring the tailstock up. So it's one of my first times ever using a jam chuck. It worked out way better than I thought. It's nice having that token on the bottom because I can bring the tailstock up and I know where the center is. But this really made it easy to get the foot off. I thought this was going to be really hard. It turns out this was probably the easiest part of the turn. If I'm doing this wrong and there's a better way, let me know in the comments. I'm all ears. I'm going to change this up. Instead of using Waterlux gloss or semi-gloss, I'm going to switch to a Minwax tongue oil. I think the Waterlux gloss or semi-gloss will look really shiny on the bowl, and I don't think that's what this piece is. It's very rustic, so I want a natural look to it. So the tongue oil isn't going to add any bling to it or make it shiny. It's just going to be the wood doing the talking, nothing else. Okay, we end up adding 3 coats of the Minwax tongue oil, and then we buffed it off lightly. And wait till you see what my wife did to it. It's adorable, and it makes the whole project. You see where we've got our 3 branches, 1, 2, and 3. This piece here didn't have any bark on it. This one branch was barkless. There's nothing I can do about that. That's the way it was. That's the way the tree came down. The rest of it has the bark on it. There's some very interesting figure here in the middle. Kind of looks like a hand with thumb and 2 fingers. Maybe it's an alien hand, who knows? So this one's a wrap. My wife, of course, as soon as she saw it, decided that she needed to decorate it, and I thought this decoration was absolutely adorable, just like her. So here we have some decorations. The bowl came out fantastic. We ended up putting 3 coats of tongue oil on it and buffed it off lightly. This piece came out great. It's one I know every time I say it, it's one of my favorites. This is, again, one of my favorites. I think this may be the most beautiful piece of wood I've ever seen. It is clearly the most beautiful thing I've ever made. So please like and subscribe and comment. Commenting really helps me with the algorithm. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.